Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be discussing about the food preferences with respect to religious belief and whether these kind of provisions are available in the Indian prisons or not. So we'll have a look at the religious preferences in the food that is served in prisons. So yes, see, of course, we have our own preferences of food with respect to religious beliefs or otherwise environmental beliefs as well, right? In the same manner. So that is there. We have the right to have that kind of an approach. Of course, one thing to be remembered is our freedom to extend the hand ends when someone else's nose begin, right? So in a very let's say proper within the ambit of the legality of the nation, of the region where you are living, be it a country or a state or a city or a region, we need to abide by the rules and regulations, and things should work in proper coordination. Now, that has to be followed. We have the right to do that. Now, the thing is, do we still have the same right in the prisons as well? That is the question that we are going to discuss over here, because what is the news over here? So, there's a person, Ritesh Kumar Shah. Basically, he is in a prison in Mumbai, wherein he requested for Jain food. I believe, yes, the Jain food, because of the religious belief that he holds. Now, the interesting thing over here is the court agreed to it. So, you have the court accepted the plea, citing what? Citing the religious belief which basically Mr. Shah carries. However, the same has been not complied by the jail, which has led to multiple court directions to the jail authorities. So here the person asked for a Jain food because of the belief system that he has. The court allows it, the jail does not provide it. So there are multiple pleas to the court. The court gives directives to the jail authority, but the jail authority still do not provide it. So that is why we are going to discuss whether they should, or if they are not, what are the reasons for that. And have they been doing previously like that in some other manner whatsoever? So let's see all these questions answered in this class. Before that, there's an announcement about the new batches that are going to start. One has recently started. There are 2 upcoming batches in the month of August. So you can enroll yourself to get the guidance from the expert. You can log on to the website of Legacy IAS Academy. You can call these numbers or download the app where you will have the provision to enroll with Legacy IAS Academy. The benefits or the advantages that you will have is the one-on-one mentorship and doubt solving that will be provided by these expert faculties only, which you just saw. There will be regular interactions with the educators. The batch size is limited to just 40 students for personal, individual, hyper-personalized attention. There will be daily mains answer writing practice. There will be, of course, the test series for prelims and mains, comprehensive coverage of entire GS paper. At the same time, one very important aspect is the 360-degree coverage of current affairs, wherein one day every week will be completely dedicated to the current affairs live classes. I hope that's clear. So just go on, log on to the website, call the number and get yourselves enrolled. Now let's continue with the news. So what are the legal issues that are at stake with respect to the provision of food based on religious belief in the prison is what we are talking about, not outside the prison all over the country, just the prison. So the question is, can the prisoner demand food as per religious preferences? So let us now look at the fundamental rights. Article 21 talks about right to life. It includes dignity and personal belief is included. The question here will be, does that still imply inside the jail also or not? This will get clear as we move ahead. Then Article 25, freedom of religion applicable within reasonable restrictions, including prisons. So in prison, let's say you want to fast, you can fast inside a prison. You want to pray, you can pray inside a prison, absolutely, right? So all those things are present. Now, the issue here is with respect to the prison discipline as well as compared to the religious freedom. So there is a model prison manual provision. Now, what does this manual provision say? Let us have a look at that. First things first, it says that special arrangements it may be made, not necessarily, it's not a compulsion, you cannot hold the prison authority accountable, but it may be provided. For example, in the month of Ramzan, in the Shravan Mas, there can be certain provisions that may be made. But there is a big but over here. The but is cooking not to be based on caste or religion. That means what? See, I may prepare certain thing but not based on caste or religion. That means not too specifically for your choosing, right? So that is the argument over here, and there is no obligation as such also on the prison authority unless directed by a court or government. So probably in the case wherein they are directed by the court, in this case they should be doing it, but there is no as such specific or very strict or compulsion as such on the jail authority. Now, what are the precedents to these things? So let us look at certain cases which holds the precedents. Lakshmi Narayan versus State of Allahabad, wherein it said jails are not places where people can have their own choice of food. So here it simply in generic manner, it is not being specific to the religion beliefs only, but it's a place when you cannot choose what you want to eat. This is what we are providing, this is what you should be eating, right? So the personal choice is, of course, not paid heed to in this case. Let's look at Punjab and Haryana High Court's judgment. So it's a Punjab and Haryana High Court, basically they are the same High Court. That is why together it's not two different High Courts giving exact same sentence. It's the same High Court. Now they urged uniform policy for meals during Ramzan for fasting prisoners. So some amount of provisions are being made. So in Ramzan also, when you're fasting, you have to eat way before the sun comes out. So there will be early preparation also which might be there, or the food of the last night kept and provided early in the morning. So in some way or the other, you are basically providing at the given time in order to ensure that people are following their faith, right? So in this case, it is there. Then when we move ahead to the next, Satyendra Jain case. Now here the Delhi PMLA code. So here the plea for religious food was rejected and said no special treatment that is allowed, right? So this is what the cases have said. Now we'll look at what is the practice in the jail and what is the reality. So let us first look at the allowed practice. The allowed practice in the jail with respect to the jail authorities allowing that is food during Ramzan before sunrise. So the food that might be prepared would be similar in the sense that same ingredients involved, same type of thing produced, but you are getting it before sunrise. But one thing is there, you are making some amount of provision based on the belief over here. Not a different food maybe, but at least providing it before time, way early in the morning because of religious belief. Second, sabudana or fruits during the Shravan Mas, wherein you have fasting foods, wherein you can have only let's say fruits or only sabudana khichdi kind of things. So wherein again a provision is being made as such, wherein based on your religious belief, again you are being provided certain facilities. At the same time, sometimes home food is also allowed on grounds of medical or religious grounds both. So this jail authority can provide, but remember it is the jail authority that is the deciding authority over here unless and until courts allow. So if courts are allowing, probably then the jail authority should go ahead and do that. Now what is the reality? Practice we saw, what is the reality? Now reality as in, does it happen all the time? No, it is not a guarantee. You cannot be guaranteed that this will happen. At the same time, police is a state subject. Now central jails are regulated, of course, the police officers are there. Now there is no uniform nationwide policy. So that means during Shravan Mas, Ramazan also, in certain places that might be the thing that might be happening also, but not necessarily uniformly in the same manner throughout the country. At the same time, it varies based on court intervention and, very important point, the jail's discretion. If the court is giving the directive, yes, you are following it, or else you have the jail's discretion. So here one thing we should remember is J's discretion is there, fair enough, but throughout the lecture we have understood the court or the government can intervene. That means the court can intervene, and in this case the court did intervene, as a result of which probably Mr. Shah should have been allowed the food based on his belief. So in answers also, if you have to take a side, you show the arguments of both the sides, but at the same time the court has intervened and that has been followed. We have the precedents, we have the model guidelines also that we saw, so it could be actually allowed as the court has already intervened. Thank you.